Well, good morning, members of the Committee of Public Property and Public Works. Good morning, those who are here to testify, and good morning to the public who are joining us here on Channel 64. I understand that the state law currently requires that the following announcements be made at the beginning of every remote public hearing as follows. Due to the current public health emergency, City Council committees are currently meeting remotely. We are using Microsoft Teams to make these remote hearings possible. Instructions for how the public may view and offer public testimony at public hearings of council committees are included in the public hearing notices that are published in the Daily News, the Inquirer, and the Legal Intelligencer prior to the hearings, and can also be found on phlcouncil.com. I now note that the hour has come. Ms. Atwell, would you please take the roll call in attendance of members in today's hearing, and indicate, if you can, members, that you are present when your name is called, and also say a few brief words when responding so that your image will display on screen when you speak. Ms. Atwell?
Councilmember Gauthier?
Good morning. Good morning, Ms. Atwell. Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everybody. Happy to be here today.
Councilmember Gim?
Good morning, Committee Chairman. Good morning, colleagues. I am present.
Councilmember O?
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, colleagues.
Councilmember Dom?
Good morning, Chairman Heenan and colleagues.
Councilmember Jones?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, technical staff and viewing audience. Good morning.
Councilmember Squilla?
Good morning, Chairman and colleagues. Present.
And Councilmember Heenan.
Councilman Heenan is present for the record. I'm going to thank you, Ms. Atwell. A quorum of this committee is present at this hearing, and the hearing is now called to order. This is a public hearing of the Committee of Public Property and Public Works regarding bill numbers 200188, 200345, and 200354. Ms. Atwell, would you please read the titles of the bills?
Bill number 200188, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City of Chalfont to acquire fee simple title or a lesser real estate interest to all or a portion of a parcel or parcels of land located in the vicinity of Calera Road between Red Lion Road and Chalfont Drive, commonly known as the Liberty Bell Youth Organization Recreation Center, and Bill number 200345, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the city to acquire fee simple title or a lesser interest in real estate by purchase, dedication, donation, condemnation, agreement in lieu of condemnation, or otherwise in parcels of land along the Delaware River and in the bed of the former Kensington and Tacony Railroad under certain terms and conditions, and Bill number 200354, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to enter into an amendment to a joint use agreement with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, pursuant to which certain parcels of real estate constituting the I-95 right-of-way located beneath the elevated highway between the Benjamin Franklin Bridge and the Walt Whitman Bridge are leased to the City of Philadelphia by the Commonwealth, subleased by the Interstate Land Management Corporation, all under certain terms and conditions.
Well, thank you, Ms. Atwell. Before we begin to hear testimony from the witnesses we have here tonight, everyone who has been invited to this meeting to testify should be aware that this is a public hearing, and that this public hearing is being recorded. Because the hearing is public, participants and viewers have no reasonable expectation of privacy. By continuing to be in this meeting, you are consenting to be recorded. Additionally, prior to being recognizing members for questions or comments they have for witnesses, I will also note for the record at this time that we will be using the chat feature that is available on the Microsoft Teams, which will allow members to signify that to be recognized In order to comply with the Sunshine Act, feature will only be used for this purpose and this purpose only. Ms. Atwell, would you please call the first panel or witness to testify here this morning?
Aparna Palantino.
Good morning, Ms. Palantino. You are connected and ready to proceed. Please state your name for the record, and you may proceed with your testimony. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, Chairperson Heenan and members of the Committee on Public Property and Public Works. My name is Aparna Palantino, and I serve as the Deputy Commissioner for Capital Infrastructure and Land Management for the Department of Parks and Recreation. I'm here today to testify in support of Bill Number 200188, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to acquire fee simple title or lesser real estate interest to all or a portion of a parcel or parcels of land located in the vicinity of Calera Road between Red Lion Road and Chalfont Drive, commonly known as the Liberty Bell Youth Organization Recreation Center. This ordinance will allow the City of Philadelphia to acquire, for a nominal fee, the premises known as the Patrick McDonald Memorial Gym, also known as the Liberty Bell Youth Organization Rec Center. The facility is immediately adjacent to Picarello Playground, and Parks and Recreation will be able to utilize the gym for programming and other sports activities. Councilman O'Neill, in whose district the gymnasium is located, is supportive of this transfer. The Department of Parks and Rec supports this measure, and accordingly, I respectfully request that City Council approve Bill Number 200188. I'm also requesting a suspension of the rules so as to allow for first reading at the next session of Council. Thank you. I would be happy to answer any questions you might have at this time.
Thank you for your testimony, and I'm going to ask any members of the committee if they have any questions. I don't see any. Is there anyone else here from the administration that wishes to testify on this bill? I am not seeing any. Is there anyone else? Ms. Atwell, could you please call our next witness and panel for our next bill, please?
Sure. It's going to be Rob Armstrong.
Good morning, Rob. Thank you for joining us here today. You are connected and ready to proceed at your convenience. Please state your name for the record and then proceed with your testimony.
My name is Rob Armstrong. Good morning, Chairperson Heenan and members of the Committee on Public Property and Public Works. My name is Rob Armstrong. I'm the Trails and Transportation Program Manager for the Office of Transportation, Infrastructure and Sustainability, OTIS. I'm here today to testify in support of Bill Number 200345, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City to acquire fee simple title or a lesser interest in real estate by purchase, dedication, donation, condemnation, agreement in lieu of condemnation, or otherwise in parcels of land along the Delaware River and in the bed of the former Kensington and Tacony Railroad under certain terms and conditions. This bill allows the City of Philadelphia to continue to acquire right-of-way along the former K&T Railroad and along the Delaware River for an expansion of recreational parkland consisting primarily of the proposed K&T Trail, multi-use recreational trail, and associated amenities. Upon completion of construction, the right-of-way will be operated and maintained by Philadelphia Parks and Recreation, along with its nonprofit partner, the Riverfront North Partnership. The proposed right-of-way runs between Old Frankfort Creek and Princeton Avenue along the Delaware River and serves to connect the public to two public boat launches, the Frankfort Boat Launch and the Tacony Boat Launch, as well as Lardner's Point Park, a park abutting the proposed right-of-way. The proposed right-of-way is also part of the larger regional circuit trail system and the National East Coast Greenway. Councilmember Heenan, in whose district this parcel resides, is supportive of this legislation. The Office of Transportation, Infrastructure and Sustainability fully supports this measure, and accordingly, I respectfully request that City Council approve Bill Number 200345. I'm also requesting a suspension of the rules so as to allow for first reading at the next session of Council. Thank you. I would be glad to answer any questions you may have regarding this proposed ordinance.
Thank you for your testimony, Mr. Armstrong. Are there any questions or comments from members of this committee? I don't see any at this time. Anyone else from the general public have any questions or comments? I also do not see none. I appreciate and thank you for your testimony today. Ms. Atwell, is there anyone else testifying for our next bill? Would you please call their name?
Bridget Collins Greenwald.
Good morning, Commissioner. Thank you for joining us here today, and we appreciate you offering testimony. If you are now ready to proceed, we are lined up and teed up for your testimony. Please state your name for the record, and you may proceed.
Sure. Good morning, Chairman Heeman and members of the Committee on Public Property and Public Works. My name is Bridget Collins Greenwald, and I'm the Commissioner of the Department of Public Property. I'm here today to testify in support of Bill number 200354, a bill authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to enter into an amendment to a joint lease agreement with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, pursuant to which certain parcels of real estate constituting the I-95 right-of-way located beneath the elevated highway between the Ben Franklin Bridge and the Walt Whitman Bridge are leased to the City of Philadelphia by the Commonwealth and then subleased by the Interstate Land Corporation, all under certain terms and conditions. Hold on, I think I'm losing my camera here. ILMAC is a nonprofit corporation which has the responsibility to maintain the parcels on behalf of the city and market those areas not needed for free movement of traffic, to generate funds for maintenance of parcels subject to the joint use agreement, which originally went into effect March 29, 1990. The city desires to extend the term of the joint use agreement with the Commonwealth and to continue to sublease the parcels to ILMAC. The Department of Public Property supports this measure, and accordingly, I respectfully ask that City Council approve Bill number 200354. I'm requesting a suspension of the rules to allow for the first reading at the next session of Council. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you for your testimony, Commissioner. I'm going to ask if there are any questions or comments from members of the committee. I do not see any at this.
Councilman, Mr. Chair, this is Mark Squilla. Commissioner, as we put this out there, would you be able then to have leases completed through the summer?
Councilman Squilla, you seem to be breaking up.
Okay. Let me know if I get any better.
I actually heard that, if you want me to answer it, Councilman.
Yes.
So what we can do is we could have a month-to-month agreement that will cover this, that will allow us to negotiate those leases if this bill is pending, knowing that if the bill is passed and we sign the joint use agreement, then we can finalize the leases after the agreement is signed. But we can work on everything through the summer.
Okay, because I knew there was some concerns from ILMAC that they wouldn't be able to do those leases. But yeah, if we could do a month-to-month lease and have that intact so that they can continue to operate until the bill officially passes, I think.
I think they should be okay on that front.
All right. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Councilman. Any other members of this committee or from the general public have any questions on this bill or any comments? I do not see any. Commissioner, thank you for your testimony. We appreciate your support and your testimony here this morning. Thank you so much. So, being that there are no other questions or comments from members of this committee, this will conclude our public hearing, and we will now go into our public meeting. There being no further questions from members of the committee and no other witnesses to testify, I'll ask if there are anyone else here present, which I have already done in this hearing, whose name I have failed to call, that wishes to offer any testimony. All right, I want to thank you all, and again, thank the panels and witnesses for your participation today, as we value your input, especially coming from departments and the administration. So that does conclude our public hearing on public property and public works. We are now going into our public meeting to consider the actions being taken on the bills before the committee today. The chair recognizes Council Member Squilla on a motion for bill number 200188.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the bill number 200188 be reported from this committee with the, make a motion to move the bill out of committee
Second.
with the rules of council be suspended with first reading of this bill, next session of council.
Second.
Okay, for the record, it has been seconded by Council Member Kim. It has been moved and properly second that bill number 200188 be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further move that the rules of council be suspended as to permit the first reading of this bill at our next session of council. All those in favor will motion by signifying by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries. The chair now recognizes Council Member Squilla again for a motion on bill number 200345.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the bill number 200345 be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further move that the rules of council be suspended as to permit the first reading of this bill at the next session of council.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and second, I believe, by Councilman O. Is that correct?
Yes.
It has been moved and second by Councilman O. For the record, and properly second that the bill number 200345 be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further move that the rules of council be suspended to permit the first reading of this bill at our next session of council. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. Motion carries. The chair again recognizes Councilman Squilla for a motion on bill number 200354.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that bill number 200354 be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further move that the rules of council be suspended to permit the first reading of this bill at the next session of council.
Second.
All right, do I hear a second? Who, for the record, is the
Councilmember
second?
Ginn.
Councilmember Ginn is noted as a second to the motion. It has been moved and properly second that bill number 200354 reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further move that the rules of council be suspended as to permit the first reading of this bill at our next session of council. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is considered at our next session. All right, this will conclude our business before the Committee of Public Property and Public Works here today. I want to thank, as always, all the members of this committee, all the tech staff that make these virtual hearings and council sessions possible. We thank you so much. The public thanks you so much because the city is able to continue on with its business. So I want to thank you all. You have a great and blessed day today, and thank you for your attendance. Meeting is concluded.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.